The Fairey Fulmar occupies a distinctive place in the history of British naval aviation as a long-range, two-seat carrier-borne fighter designed for the Fleet Air Arm during the early years of the Second World War. While the aircraft was not known for high speed or agile dogfighting performance, it delivered reliability, stability, endurance and strong firepower, all of which were vital for the complex operational needs of naval warfare. Entering service in 1940, the Fulmar served at a time when the Royal Navy urgently required modern fighters capable of defending carriers, escorting naval strike aircraft and performing reconnaissance missions over vast ocean stretches. Its two-crew arrangement, sturdy airframe and weapons capability made it a versatile and dependable platform during a difficult and rapidly evolving phase of the war. Designed by Fairey Aviation, the Fulmar was developed from the company's earlier civilian aircraft concepts but modified heavily to meet naval requirements. Its long wings, stable handling and strong structure made it well suited for deck operations. The two-seat configuration was intended to support navigation and spotting tasks that were essential in maritime combat. The observer seated behind the pilot handled radio communications, navigation charts and target identification, allowing the pilot to focus on flying and fighting. This cooperative arrangement proved beneficial during extended patrols or escort missions, especially in the vast operational areas of the Mediterranean and North Atlantic. The aircraft was powered by the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, the same family of engines used in famous fighters like the Spitfire and Hurricane. However, the Fulmar airframe was larger, heavier and optimized for range rather than speed. The Merlin engine provided reliable performance, allowing the Fulmar to reach speeds close to 270 miles per hour, which was not fast enough to match land-based fighters but sufficient for the Fleet Air Arm's primary needs at the time. The major advantage of the Fulmar was endurance. Capable of flying long distances without refueling, it could escort strike aircraft during lengthy missions, conduct wide-area patrols and provide continuous air cover for naval formations. In terms of armament, the Fairey Fulmar was well equipped. Early models carried 8.303 Browning machine guns mounted in the wings, giving it a solid volume of fire for the era. Later versions improved the aircraft's defensive capability and overall performance. While not as heavily armed as some later naval fighters, the Fulmar's firepower was effective against enemy bombers, reconnaissance planes and surface targets. The aircraft could also carry small bombs or additional equipment depending on mission requirements. This versatility made it useful for secondary strike roles when needed. Operationally, the Fulmar played an important role in the Mediterranean theater. The challenging conditions of this region required aircraft that could stay airborne for long periods and locate enemy fleets or convoys across wide sea areas. Fulmars escorted British torpedo bombers such as the Swordfish and Albacore during daring attacks on Italian and German naval forces. One of the aircraft's most notable contributions took place during the Battle of Cape Matapan, where Fulmars provided essential reconnaissance and fighter cover for the Royal Navy's decisive victory over the Italian fleet. Their long-range capabilities allowed British command to maintain situational awareness and plan their attacks effectively. In addition to reconnaissance and escort roles, Fulmars engaged enemy aircraft whenever necessary. Despite being slower and less maneuverable than modern fighters fielded by other nations, the Fulmar achieved a respectable combat record. It accounted for more enemy aircraft destroyed than any other Fleet Air Arm fighter during the first years of the war. This was not because of superior dogfighting capabilities but because the Fulmar was present in large numbers during critical operations and performed consistently. The Fleet Air Arm valued reliability and mission endurance, and the Fulmar delivered both. The Fulmar also served in the Indian Ocean and the Arctic, adapting to diverse climates and mission types. In the harsh northern environment, where visibility was low and navigation was difficult, the presence of an observer proved especially valuable. Long patrols over cold waters required robust machinery, and the Fulmar's strong construction handled these conditions well. In the Indian Ocean, Fulmars protected convoys from long-range reconnaissance aircraft and bomber threats, helping secure important supply routes. As the war progressed and more advanced aircraft became available, the limitations of the Fulmar became increasingly apparent. It struggled to compete with faster, more agile fighters like the German Bf-109 or the Italian Macchi series. Even navalized enemy aircraft often had performance advantages. The Fleet Air Arm eventually replaced the Fulmar with improved designs such as the Fairey Firefly and with imported American fighters like the Grumman Martlet and F-4F Wildcat. These newer aircraft offered better speed and combat agility. Nevertheless, the Fulmar remained in service for training, secondary roles and less demanding theaters even after frontline replacement. From a technical standpoint, The Fulmar measured around 40 feet in wingspan and approximately 40 feet in length, giving it a relatively large size for a carrier fighter. It had a maximum range exceeding 750 miles, which was exceptional for its time and mission type. The aircraft's service ceiling reached over 22,000 feet, and its climb rate was moderate. Its robust landing gear and wide track made carrier landings stable and predictable. Although pilots did not praise the aircraft for thrilling performance, many appreciated its forgiving handling and reliable behavior under stress. Structurally, the Fulmar had an all-metal airframe with fabric-covered control surfaces, a common design approach of the period. The cockpit layout was simple and functional, offering clear visibility for naval spotting missions. The observer's position included radio equipment and navigation instruments essential for coordinated naval operations. Payload capacity was limited compared to later fighter-bombers, but the aircraft excelled in its intended role rather than attempting to be an all-purpose combat machine. The legacy of the Fairey Fulmar lies in its contribution during a time when the Fleet Air Arm lacked modern high-performance aircraft. It provided the Royal Navy with a dependable fighter that combined endurance, observational capability and stable flight characteristics. While not a match for the best land-based fighters of the war, it filled a critical gap and gave British carriers a capable defensive and reconnaissance platform during the crucial early and middle years of World War II. The Fulmar's service record reflects its value as a hard-working, dependable aircraft that carried out its missions effectively despite technological limitations. Today the Fulmar is remembered by aviation historians and enthusiasts as an example of how mission requirements can shape aircraft design. It was not built to win dogfights against the fastest fighters of the era but to meet the unique challenges of naval operations. Surviving examples can be seen in museums, representing an important chapter in Fleet Air Arm history. The aircraft's long range, two-seat configuration and contributions to key naval battles ensure that the Fairey Fulmar retains its significance in the study of World War II aviation and naval warfare.